Boys, if you want steroid allegations without the steroids, then you're in the right place and you're going to want to stick around to the end of this video. Because today we're going to give you those diesel arms you're looking for by focusing on the bigger part of the arm, which is the tricep. Let's get in today's video. All right, we aren't wasting any time here. We're going to get right into the business. Understand something. The results that you want don't require as much time and thought as you think. We just have to allocate our energy in the right places. So the first thing we're going to do is a close grip bench press on the Smith machine. Now, I personally prefer doing a barbell. However, I don't have the weights needed to do a proper close grip bench press. It'd be way too light. So I have to use on the Smith machine because I do have enough weights for this machine specifically. That's how I came up on this framework. On the front part, we want to go right into a compound lift that we want to progress in and get stronger, which is why I'm opting in for a close grip bench. You can do it on flat. I personally like the incline because it's a more difficult variation, and I know that my close grip on flat is gonna go up by proxy. So first order of business, all I do is get my thumbs out like this, shoulder width apart, kind of tuck in, and then from there, we are off to the races. So what I do is I come down, slow, controlled, touch, up. Oh, the microphone. That's just a gross miscalculation. But notice I'm locked in, eccentric, touch, boom. And you take it to complete failure, which is why I love the Smith machine, because you can do that without dying underneath the bar. Yeah, I cheated. Sue me. Wow. Okay, so right from here, I picked something that wanted to progress in like a compound movement. Like I said, you can do any variation, even skull crushers, JM presses, whatever. You want to pick something to progress in, something that you actually want to improve on. And on the back end, we're going to pick an isolation exercise to take this muscle to complete failure. Let's get into it. Superset time. Just put in a mirror, by the way, before we get into this superset. I'm not gonna lie, it's actually quite clean. Get to stare at yourself pumping iron. Honestly, extremely underrated. I didn't have it for a little bit, but it's actually quite money. Real talk. Oh, dude, got neighbors everywhere now. Have new guys that came in across, making a whole bunch of noise. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I like picking an isolation exercise on the back end. That doesn't mean it has to be a pure isolation exercise, but something that allows you to lock into the muscle. It could be anything tricep-wise, anything that allows you to really connect, mind-muscle connection. So I've been loving this movement where I just take a rope attachment, right? And I come in just like this, get everything squared away. Boom. And you want to keep your elbow up high, and then you just want to drive through, and you almost want to feel this part of the tricep crunch. And isolation doesn't mean you have to go light for a bunch of reps. I think a lot of people think isolation go light. In the beginning, you'll have to because your muscles aren't as strong. But what I will say is as they get stronger, you can then start implementing isolation exercises without compromising on form and go much heavier than you're accustomed to. Like, I probably should have gone a little bit heavier on this, but it doesn't matter. Because we still empty the energy clip. Oh, yeah. I take it to complete failure. Let's go to the other arm, obviously. Come on, we have to finish what we started. Do the same thing on the other arm. You can hold this, you don't have to. I just do whatever I'm feeling. But you always, in my head, when people talk about rep ranges, don't worry about rep ranges. I know how crazy that sounds, but I personally buy into the philosophy of as heavy as possible with quality reps. Now, some people, in the comments would be like, okay, bro, then I'm gonna start going 1 rep maxes. It's like, you get what I'm saying. Like, you wanna sit into the set, and there's a difference between I can't get this up failure versus I've expended all energy failure. That's a horse of a different color. Feeling absolutely massive right now, bro. I feel good. I'll tell you what, so this week I was actually doing a deload before we get back, we'll wrap it up, okay? We'll wrap it up. But I did a deload this week, and my deload's a little bit different. All I'm doing straight up, and by the way, you guys came for a tricep video, and I'm giving you a little deload action. That's what you get on this page. All I do is pretty much try to maintain my top sets, and I just cut my reps in half along with my sets. So if I'm used to doing 2 to 3 sets, I'll do 1 to 2 sets, maybe. 2, maybe. That's if like I just kind of was just throwing it around, but you just want to get a nice pump. I go till failure on everything that I do. So all I do is just stop, with reps in reserve, the way most people lift inside the gym, honestly. And I'll tell you, I feel phenomenal. You can feel your muscles actually getting bigger on a deload, which is kind of cool, but this is a part of the game. But regardless, this is the exact framework I've used, because coming from somebody who didn't have an abundance of equipment growing up, I always wanted that next level physique, strength, mobility, but with limited equipment, it's not as straightforward as people make it out to be. So you have to kind of get creative. And that's how I came up on the superset framework, right? Because I do want to have it all. I want to have muscle growth, but I also want to be actually strong. I want to have mobility. I want to be able to unlock my body and unlock my body. It's a bit sus. I had to call a pause on that one. But regardless, point is, I don't want to just look jacked. I want to feel jacked. And the most important thing about this, I'm telling you right now, when you lift this way, people have noticed a crazy difference just from the YouTube videos alone. So go through the rest of the YouTube videos, but I want to make something clear. You build up health, don't let it stop there. There's too many people that just stop at, yeah, dude, I'm jacked. This is awesome. You want to take that jacked and you want to apply it to your real life. Otherwise, why else are we doing this? There's no reason for you not to be taking this thing that you've worked hard for, but it doesn't even take that much time to really have results that people are like, bro, you want something? Not gonna lie, my boy's been seeing. I've been getting a lot of roid allegations. I mean, I'm in it though. This is what I've been lifting for, and that's the point. Because I swear to you, with my head, I was like, this has to be possible. And I had 2 friends of mine that were in that type of shape, and I couldn't cope anymore. I was like, if they're doing it, and I knew they were 100% naturals, what's my excuse? And finally, I was like, I just need to do more. I need to figure out more. I'm not blessed with those crazy genetics. Like, I love my genetics, don't get me wrong, but if you saw the way I looked before, it was no different than your average, gym goer participator. So what I'm trying to tell you is it's not as complex as we made it out to be. We just have to kind of get into the details a little bit more than the person with ridiculous genetics, okay? Anyways, I appreciate watching this video. I hope this is well worth your time. If there's anything you guys want specifically, please drop it down in the comments. And if people like those comments and I do see it gets enough thumbs up, I will make a video on it. As always, y'all, I love you very much. From Uncle Rami to the Natural Crusaders, Crusadia coming to you June 22nd. I cannot wait. 3 pillars of this page in Crusadia, right? Well, Crusadia is going to be a little bit different in terms of how everything's going to be set up. But regardless, live by these 3 things: strength, resilience, and character. And I promise you, you're going to have a life that you did not think was possible. Everything's possible. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. All right? Anyways, I love you guys. Uncle Rami out. Peace.